Hello, good morning. Happy Sunday. Today is day 17 of Routines and Ritual. My name is Nicole, and I'm realizing you're missing a bit of my head. I am going to be talking today just a little bit about gratitude and glutes, not necessarily connected. But we'll start off with one of my favorite daily rituals, which is gratitude. So I have been through a few challenging years. And one of the things that really helped me was sometimes when you're going through a hard time, it can be hard to see things that are positive. But I kind of had the opposite. I went through treatment for breast cancer. And I've spoken about this recently with someone currently going through that and how I started to notice little things like colors seemed brighter and I could hear things. It's like all my senses just kind of went into overload. And I was just so grateful for these little things. And it really helped me to focus on those things when I would have a day where my body didn't feel my own, when my body hurt, when I was uber nauseous, just everything like that. It was focusing on what I was so grateful for. Made a really big difference in my ability to move through things. And, there were days that were harder than others, but just the simple practice of, some days I didn't have it in me to write them out. I just couldn't focus. I had a little bit of chemo brain. So I started just like writing them down. I have just like a journal that I have, and every morning I try to make a little ceremony of it. I get up, I make my coffee, I do some of my physio exercises or what have you. When the coffee's ready, I sit down and I just write the things that I'm grateful for. And some mornings it's like it feels sticky and I can't really get into it. But like this morning, I started off and it was, I'm grateful that the sun is out because it was supposed to rain. I'm grateful for my coffee, as always. I'm grateful for my breakfast. Anything. I'm grateful for my sister. I'm grateful for specific friends. But even just making a list of 5 things and then closing the book, you'll notice the energy that you feel. So I offer this up to you every morning. If you don't have time, if you feel you're rushed or your journaling's just not your thing, because it's not for everyone, just as you're driving to work or as you're sitting there eating breakfast or whatever, just think of 5 things that you're grateful for. And notice how it can start to shift maybe how you're feeling. And I did have some days where I was like, it was harder and it was like, I'm grateful, like look outside. I'm grateful for the rain because it's going to, take care of the lawn, or I'm grateful, just find those little things. But I'll leave you with that. But that's one of my things, and that's something that I do every day. And I find that it just makes me appreciate those little things. And sometimes you can be grateful for big things too. But I've babbled on long enough. So grateful that it's Sunday, grateful that you guys are here. And we're going to talk about glutes for a little bit and about how we can try and find the engagements or an engagement in the posterior chain. A lot of the times our big thigh muscles do all the work, or sometimes our hip flexors will take over. And one of our strongest muscles that over the years from sitting at desks, sitting on the couch or whatever, just not really engaging in I like to call it like moving in an ergonomic way. We're going to focus on how we can find that engagement so that we can make it a muscle memory, make it part of our everyday life, so that as we go to move, we're mindful about how we move. And then it becomes, the routine becomes just a given for you to do. So as you can see, I've got a chair back there, and I offered this up to anyone that might need some assistance with balance. We are going to be doing some one-legged things. So if you need a little help, feel free to use that. As well as towards the end, I'm going to do a few seated exercises that you'll be able to do the same engagement that we do when we're standing in a seated position. So like if you're at work, you can kind of remind yourself how to engage the glutes. But I'm just going to move that off to the side for now. So again, I ask that you pay attention to your body and listen to it. If something doesn't feel quite right, then ease off. And it shouldn't be very strenuous, but you will feel your glutes. So I'm going to ask you to stand with your feet hip width apart and just rock back and forth, and just notice that when we go back on the heels, it's not quite as stable as when we go onto the paws of our feet or the pads of our feet. And I want you to do that with a straight leg, and just notice that, right away, all you're doing is using the front part of your body. Now, put the weight in the paws of the feet, bend the knees forward, and just let the hips go back, finding little hollows in the front of the ankles, the back of the knees, and the front of the hips. This also allows you to find that nice, natural, curvy alignment, a little bit of a curve in the lower lumbar, full through the back in the upper thoracic, and then the back of your neck. It creates this lovely little S-curve. All right, so if you're using the chair, you can just place both hands on. If you're not, just take a little globe hands, just press the finger together so that you can kind of almost feel like you're having a beach ball. It'll just help you be nice and light through the top part of the body. And I want you to push the knees forward and root the hips back, and then just shift the weight from left to right. Now, as you're shifting the weight from left to right, I want you to push down into the floor and outwards so that you can engage the sides into the glutes. And just shift from side to side so that you're getting your side glutes going. And then find some stillness and just ease off from that pressure. And then bend the knees, root the hips back, and we're going to shift the weight into the left foot and do a dig drag. So that's the paw digs into the floor and drag the heel back, keeping the paw connected. And you should feel the whole back line of your leg light up. So I'll face you for this one. So it's shift the weight into the left, weight light on the paw of the foot, push the paw into the floor, which roots your hips back, pull, and feel the back line. So we're just going to do that a couple of times, shifting from right to left. Dig, drag, dig, drag, dig, drag. All right, so this is something that you can just do to find that engagement. And again, if you're using it, you can also do one-handed as well. So the next piece that we're going to do is bending in through the knees, rooting the hips back and wide, shift the weight into the right, dig, drag the left. Now keeping that heel dragging back, allow the foot to flex. Go on to the one leg so the foot is flexed, drag the heel back and keep the knee on the forward plane. So when we do that, by drawing that heel back, you're finding that engagement through the back line of the leg. Soften the toes. I tend to have to really focus on that because my toes try to do all the work. So just using your body as a whole is what we're trying to get here. So heel drags back, knee pushes forward, hips root back, and then place the paw to the ground. Shift the weight into the left, dig, drag the right, push the knee forward, pull the heel back. Can you make both glutes work the same? So the one you're standing on with the knee bent and the hips back, you can feel that glute working, but can you make the right glute work as much as the left? Pull the heel back, place the paw down. So just try that a couple of times and just be mindful about the movement. Dig the paw into the floor, drag the heel back, flex the foot, push the knee forward, drag the heel back, find equal engagement. Shift into the left, Dig, drag the right, push the knee forward, drag the heel back. Great. So now we're going to add a little bit more. We're going to bend into the knees, hips root back, feet can press down and out, find that engagement, shift the weight into the right, dig, drag the left, push the knee forward, flex the foot, pull the heel back, and find a little bicycle. So the knee stays on the forward plane, and the heel continues to pull back as the knee pushes forward. And you can even find a little pulse on the standing leg. And again, if you need balance or assistance with balance, and then place it down. Shift into the left, dig, drag the right, flex the foot, push the knee forward, pull the heel back, find that engagement, and then keep that engagement as you find your little cycle. And then place it down. And then just kind of give your tush a little side to side, staying on the pause, let the heels swivel. And a good one, if you've been doing a lot of work with the glutes and doing these movements, is to I like to just take the fists and just give the booty a little break. So those are just a few of the ways. So like if you are washing dishes, you bend into your knees, hips back a little bit, so you've got those nice little hollows again, and you can just simply press your feet down and out and do some of the activities. Those are the types of things that if we think about what we do, instead of like this position or just locking those knees, finding those little hollows, finding the lightness in the heels, feet pressing down and out. And this action that you do with the flexing of the foot and the knee pushing forward, the heel pulling back, once that engagement and mindfulness starts to create sort of a muscle memory, you'll notice that as you go to step upstairs or go hiking or different things like that, that you're more mindful. Like when I pick up my foot to go forward, I feel that engagement through the glutes. So if I go for a hike, it's not just my quads that are like moaning and groaning because they've been doing all the work. The whole leg works, the glutes work, all these big muscles work together to support you in healthy movement. Okay, so those are a few things that you can work on. And these are something that in most of my classes, I give those cues to remember to try and find the engagements, whether it's in the arms or the posture, just finding the engagement throughout the body through very simple moves. Challenging, but still simple and basic. All right, so we'll start by how we sit. So normally you just kind of sit into your chair, you get into your business doing the stuff. Even as you sit, be mindful. Weight can be in the paws of the feet. Feet can press down and out. Stick the booty back first. Find the hollows in the front of the ankles, the back of the knees. Sit your butt down and find the spot. So now that we're seated, let's see if we can find that engagement. So come to maybe a little bit more towards the edge of the chair so that you can hover the heels and the legs are sort of underneath the knees. So as you hover the heels, I want you to press down with your big toe and just find that engagement. So the big toe presses down and hooks back. So as you do that, you should feel a little fire up through the center of the legs as well as through the back line of the legs and maybe even to the butt. Depends how dormant your booty is. All right, so now you've done that, I want you to dig both paws into the floor. So you can see when I do that, my hips push back in the chair. And now draw your heels towards the legs of the chair, energetically pulling back so the paws are gripping. And you can feel even then the back line of your legs going back into your glute. And so just do one at a time to sort of feel that as well. So dig the right paw forward, drag the heel back. Right paw pushes forward, right heel pulls back. Left paw pushes forward, left heel pulls back. Left paw pushes forward, left heel pulls back. And then try it again with two. Two paws push forward, both the heels pull back. And just notice, you can see that my hips have a slight movement going back and forth. Now I can still feel the front line of my leg. They're all working, but those are the ones that tend to be doing all of the work. So again, try and share the workload. When we overstress one particular muscle group and they do all the work, then it can often lead to weaknesses in other areas of the body, which then can lead to injuries. But that's my little bit for today, focusing on the glutes. Really simple. We usually talk about that in most of the classes. I teach this afternoon at 12 PDT on Daily Ritual, as well as tomorrow is the first Monday. I do a free offering one Monday a month called Monday Mermaids. That's going to be a lot of freedom of movement and trying to create more mobility in the body and moving like water, while also finding that engagement, a little bit of what I spoke about today. So take a look. There's a lot of wonderful offerings below if you look in the little bit. And I just ask you, if you are up for it, if you'd like to, I'd love to hear one thing that you're grateful for today. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your Sunday. If you have any questions, I've got some information below. You can either reach out to Daily Live or you can reach me on Instagram. I will see you soon, I hope. Have a great day.